and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to end your week with me, Maha Muqtib, and the wonderful Shahzad Khan. Assalamu alaikum, Shahzad. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm absolutely perfect. Just going as life, wherever life takes you, I think that's where you have to go. But meanwhile, Maha, I think what we need to do is we need to rise and shine, wake and bake, get up, get the groove going as well. And for all those kids who are leaving for schools, please make sure to tell your parents to wear seat belts and,
Yes.
please tell them to drive safe.
And also, if you haven't already gone to school, you should probably hurry up because you're probably late for class now as well. So parents, get your children on to school on time. But let's get started because we have a lot to cover today. So let's
Exactly.
start with our top stories today.
Yeah, let's do it. International Court of Justice at Hague stays execution of Indian spy Kulbhushan Yadav till final verdict. Attorney General of Pakistan says interim order of International Court of Justice has not changed status of Indian spy commander Kulbhushan Yadav's case in any manner. Quite a lot of development though. Minister of State for Information, Maryam Aurangzeb says Pakistan will vigorously fight Kulbhushan Yadav case without compromising on its national security.
Excellent. And now on to sports. International Pro Wrestling competition will be held in Lahore today. 25 international wrestlers from 20 countries will participate in the event, and it was held in Karachi the other day. Now it's in Lahore. So if you are there, you should check it out.
And I think on 21st it's going to be in Islamabad as well. So for all those people who are from Islamabad, I think it's about time that you guys need to really go ahead and log on to their website and you can get the tickets. But now I think it's about time that we move on towards our public service message. Let's do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, public service message. We obviously do try to make sure that the public service message is in sync with whatever we were discussing on that day. So today, since we are going to talk about education and the standards of education over here in Pakistan. So the public service message over here is that the majority of the women over here in Pakistan, or the girls or the daughters, they do not get to go to the schools because of the fact that, for example, if it's a family of 4 or 5 and it's 3 boys and 2 girls, they prefer sending the boys to schools in our rural areas or the very remote areas as well. So please make sure that education is a fundamental right of the boy and a girl, everybody who's out there. So please make sure that you send your daughters, because if you teach a mother, you teach entire humanity.
Yeah, exactly. And it's everyone's right as well. So now let's get started with the show. As Shahzad mentioned, we're talking about the quality of education. And today we're going to be exploring another service that is in place, which, not many people are probably aware of unless they've got children who are actually going through certain, academic changes. So there's something in Pakistan called a National Testing Service, and it's something that helps, look at the aptitude, the abilities of the students. So we'll find out what role they play in the whole maintaining the quality of education to see where the country is headed in that direction. So to discuss all the, Shahzad, do you want to add anything?
Exactly, that's what it is. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, for all those people who are applying for different universities, for example, whenever we decide to go abroad in any other university, for example, in London or US or wherever you feel like, so we do have these tests, for example, SAT and then GRE and whatnot. So over here in Pakistan, we do have such a system in place as well for all those people who want to apply to different universities. They obviously have to, it is mandatory for them to go through this NTS, which is National Testing Service. And we'll definitely check what it is and what happens in it, because when we were going to our university, there was no such test.
Okay, so to discuss all of this.
But Ma, does that mean that we are not very educated then?
No, of course we are. There was just other systems in place, and time evolves and changes and things get better. So the newer generations always get more intelligent because they've learned from our mistakes.
Exactly.
So to discuss all of these things, we've been joined by Dr. Shahzad Khan. He is the CEO of NTS, which is a national testing service. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Besides Dr. Shahzad Khan, we've been joined by Miss Malika Mubashir. She is the headmistress at City School, and she's also an educationist. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Besides Miss Malika Mubashir, we've been joined by Miss Navida Riaz. She is an is the academic coordinator at City School. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Thank you very much for
having me.
coming over, and to get started with the conversation, I think we need to start with the elementary and the primary school education and its standards right now. And obviously, since we try to be very inclusive, so we're going to talk about the public and the private sector
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
So, let me start with you, ma'am. How do you see the standards of education over here in Pakistan, especially in public and private? Obviously, there is no comparison in between them, but what is the state of education over here?
Well, when we look at it, I think that there are certain levels that we need to adhere to, because when we are talking about children and their future, definitely we need to see that their pedagogical and developmental needs are being catered for, and we need to see that whether whatever is being imparted to them, that is really working for the proper personality development of the students as well.
Exactly.
Though we do focus more and more on academics and tests and
technology.
scoring and everything, but still we need to see that are we developing their critical thinking, are we putting them giving them any opportunities where they can have some hands-on experience, and is there any room for making them learn the life skills that is of utmost importance for their future development. And this is going to be the only way they can be more productive members
So
of
where
the
are we
society.
right now? I mean, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. So what we are doing is that working with both the parties, the private sector and the government, after since we had after the independence of Pakistan, it's been a long way, and I think we have worked to a greater extent, but still we need to see with all the changes that are coming up all over the world, the changes that we see, and we need to make our children ready for that.
Absolutely.
So that they can come up to the expectations and competitions of
Amazing.
the world around us.
Amazing.
And I'd like to add in here, like you just said, that the thing I think which we really need to work on is that education, as you said, is a basic right of every child, right? So when we divide children into public and private, we are actually, differentiating them in the standards,
who's
right?
dividing these children into public and private.
Exactly.
I think
No, it's, no, I understand.
What
But
I mean to
disclaimer,
say is, on a national level,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely, I get what you're
I'm not looking at whether I'm from the private sector or from the public.
It's for
I'm talking
education.
about what, as a national person, they're just talking about a citizen here. So what I feel is that we are moving in the right direction, but we have a long way to go. I
Absolutely.
still think we have a long way to go, because we have, even in primary education, we haven't reached the level where I think we're equipping children with actually, giving them the tools where they can actually take the best out of the what they can get from life.
Okay, so now that we've got a little idea of what's happening at the base, at the first primary level, let's move on to the NTS and find out, what is NTS and are the students being prepared for it?
NTS is basically, it was emerged in 2002 to the need expressed by the Ministry of Information Technology and Education at that time, that there should be a international standard testing service in Pakistan like the ETS in United States at that time. So based on that, it was basically established for the testing the students going for the undergraduate level and graduate level at the universities.
Okay.
Later on, it has also started testing in a professional way, testing the people for recruitment. That means selecting a person for the right job with the right qualification and skill level.
Okay.
That's the purpose of the NTS. But basically, NTS is also playing a significant role in the development and promotion of education.
Yes.
We are basically sponsoring all type of international conferences and seminar which are related to education in all the fields, including science and technology and arts throughout the country. And we also conduct the workshop for the remote areas where the teachers are not well conversant. Recently, in the last year, we conducted training for the teachers of at university level from universities from Balochistan.
Okay, excellent.
Basically, I think that the teacher's role is very important, whether it is a higher education or at the primary level. That is very important, that he should be knowing the teaching skills apart from the grip on his own subjects.
Exactly. But sir, since we are talking about NTS, now over here, what I need to ask is there a relation in between this service and the HEC as well, or it's like that you are overrunning the authority of HEC, and then this testing service is in place, and then what happens? So is there a relation with HEC as well?
Yeah, definitely. The higher education is basically administrated and governed and monitored by the HEC. It was initially mandatory for all the university to do the admission at undergraduate level through the NTS. But later on, due to certain court decision, somebody challenged in the Lahore High Court, and the present Honorable Chief Justice of Lahore High Court, he was the person who heard that case.
Yeah.
He decided that it should not be made mandatory for all the students. Let the university decide themselves whether they want to conduct their own test or they want to conduct it through the NTS. But for the graduate level, for undergraduate level, it's optional for all the universities. For the graduate level, presently there is no other testing service. So we are conducting the GAT general test, which is for the master's or MPhil level, and the GAT subject test, which is mandatory for the admission in the PhD.
Okay, so now leaving this option to the universities, whether they opt for the NTS or they have their own exam, is that a good thing or a bad thing in your opinion?
Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't make
affect
any
the
difference. There is always room for improvement. But if a government decide, they can make a standard policy for all the universities. Like the ETS is a testing agency which is doing the test for all the universities in USA. And based on their input and their score in that test in GRE, the rating of the universities are different. So they are given admission in the according to their score in different universities.
Okay, but sir, then other than that, why do you think that there is a need for such a testing service when obviously every other university is holding their entry test examination and whatnot, and they obviously have their own criteria to make sure that the student falls according to the merit list or not. So why do you think we need this service anyways?
It's either the university, they conduct their own test, or it is done through NTS. It's easy for the students to appear in the NTS, which is periodically held, and it has a international standard test. We basically prepare them when they go to their first year of studies. After through this test, they are much more confident starting their studies at the university level.
One last thing, and that is and which is obviously regarding NTS. Now, for example, if somebody appeared in NTS, so obviously you told us that there are two different type of tests, which is for undergraduate and then for the graduation and above as well. Now, for somebody who's cleared these tests, he can get admitted into any university, or they still have to appear in an admission test from the university?
No, I don't think so. That have to appear in any other test. It depends on the university. For the graduate level, all the university except the they have to go through the GAT or GAT subject test for all the PhDs and master level admission. But for undergrad level, those universities who conduct their own tests like UATs, GIK, LUMS, they don't have to appear in the NTS test. But there are large number of universities in this country who
accept the results of NTS.
The result of NTS.
Amazing that is. Now, ma'am, moving on to you, coming back to primary education. Now, ma'am very respectfully said that, we do have a long way to go. Majority, hundreds of times we have discussed education and its standards over here in Pakistan. Every now and then we ask them, how do you see the state of education over here in the country? The only answer which comes out is, we have got a long way to go. Now, which is that long way to go? For example, if I have to go to Lahore, I know I'll go from motorway, there'll be Behra in between, there'll be Sukheki in between, and then I'll reach Lahore. We do have these short-term goals right in front of us. What are our short-term goals in terms of making sure that we are going to provide quality education to our kids?
Basically, we need to see that the three important key factors that need to be catered for provision of quality education. So one of them is that we should be having professionally developed teachers for all levels. Secondly, we need to see that the environment that is being provided in the schools, that is properly equipped with teaching tools, all the accessories that are required, and that environment has to be safe, caring and supporting for the, again, holistic development of a child. So when we look at these factors, we really need to, I'll be repeating the same point that yes, that long way has to go on.
Yeah.
But I think that in certain areas within our country, we have already started accomplishing these goals. And inshallah, gradually as we, and as this awareness is being developed in this field of education, so we are heading towards it gradually, and
Amazing.
we
So
need
let's
to see that.
So let's see what Ms. Malaika has to say as
Yeah.
well.
Well, as I said, it's a long way to go. But
It's a figure of speech, I
it's
do understand.
Yeah.
But
But
which
I
way are
think
we going?
one of the things is that I don't know. I personally feel that we need to have a standardized kind of an education. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry cannot get up and open up a school in a house.
Yeah.
You know, you're going from here to Behra to whatever, and you'll see loads of schools
Yeah.
opened up in houses, and children are actually going to these schools.
Yeah.
What are they getting out of these schools? Nobody knows.
Okay.
So who is there to actually monitor what's going on?
I think we have to ask this question from Shahzada Saab as well, because they look like as if they are the in charge of the education testing system as well. But before you say anything, sir, we need to go for a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll definitely talk about that. You know, what are our short-term goals in terms, because we want to provide quality education to our kids. That's what it
Absolutely.
is.
The largest cultural activity in Pakistan is the annual National Folk Festival, Lok Mela, held in Islamabad in October each year. Over the past 2 decades, this festival has taken on an international flavour, and more than 20 different countries have sent their artisans and performers to participate in the festival. Nationally, the festival has become a thing of pride for artisans and performers who come on their own to participate. Most important of all, the provinces of Pakistan and Azad Jammu and Kashmir put up beautifully decorated pavilions, and visitors had the unique opportunity to see an assortment of Pakistan's traditionally rich culture in the federal capital of Islamabad for an exciting 10 days. An exhibition of artisans at work under the banner of the Heritage Museum forms the core of this festival. Pavilions of each province depict their own regional culture and crafts. The Research and Media Centre of Lok Virsa arranges groups of dancers that perform all over the festival grounds, inviting visitors to join in, and in the evening arranges music concerts from all parts of Pakistan. This festival is a true depiction of the diversity found in Pakistani culture. Fairs and Festivals of Pakistan.
दहशतगर्दी और
Welcome back, everyone. And before the break, we were talking about the education system in Pakistan, and we're talking about primary and the higher levels, and the testing systems, and the different bodies that are in place to make sure and that the quality that is being given to our kids is at a level that they can, compete with the rest of the world. So Shahzad had a very interesting question.
Yeah, and before we move on towards that question, there's one more thing which I would love to mention over here, and that is that Miss Maryam Nawaz, very respectful. What she did was that, obviously, by the orders of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mia Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, they had these reforms made for the schools, and then there were laboratories being made, and then the parks were renovated or whatnot, and then the classrooms and the tables and the buses were given away. So it was a model which was actually picked up by the entire Pakistan as well, and all the public schools actually wanted to do that too as well. Well, obviously we do have limited resources, but whatever could be done, it is done miraculously and amazingly as well. Now, since where we were, I think what we need to do is we need to introduce our one more guest.
Oh, yes, we do, sorry.
Recently joined us.
Yes, absolutely. So we've been joined by Hina Arshad. She is a lecturer at the Government Convent of College of Rawalpindi. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for
And she
joining.
teaches psychology and English. That's what
Yes.
it is. Thank you very much for coming over.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's go up.
Yeah, so let's move on with Shahzada Sahib over. Now, sir, ma'am very correctly mentioned, Malaika Sahiba, that, we do need a regulatory authority or a body which look after the schools or probably intervenes when they see that, this is not right or this is not fair or this is very good or this is very amazing. We do need somebody, because what happens over here in Pakistan is, because she said that, we do have schools in houses. Even though when there was a law passed that, nobody can open up a business or a restaurant in a house, but the schools are still operating. So what do you think? I mean, who's going to probably intervene over here?
It's, as you mentioned, there has to be a body at the national level. But we, NTS, we are offering this facility to governments and to the schools also, to everybody who needs us. I give our experience in the recent past that we have offered this facility. We were approached by the government of Punjab. We have done the evaluation of their vocational schools, and now we are doing the assessment and evaluation of their primary schools. In fact, let me tell you, the Punjab and KP government are actively really trying to improve their elementary and primary education. In all the departments of the this higher the secondary and elementary education in both the provinces, there is a healthy competition. They have done the recruitment purely on merit without involvement of any political or bureaucratic influence in that. So that's a positive thing that you are doing. Now, as the assessment is concerned, it's not only, as she mentioned, not the assessment of the schools, it's the assessment of the teachers is also required. We have recently done the assessment. We were approached by the Aga Khan school systems, and we have done the assessment for their teachers, starting from Karachi to Gilgit-Baltistan, where they have given us a feedback. They were quite satisfied with our performance, and they wanted a regular feature for improvement of their teachers. All those who score good, they were appreciated, but those who need certain improvement, they will be appearing again in those exams, and they are given certain times. Recently, about 2 weeks back, we have conducted online test for the assessment of all the teachers of Pakistan International School in Qatar.
Excellent.
For all the subjects. So we have that facility. We can do the paper-based testing or online testing for all the teachers. Teaching is not just at that he should be perfect in his own field. That is also a major portion which we test, but it's a different personality assessment is also done through this test. We test the general knowledge, the awareness also, and the as the capabilities, the analytical capabilities also. So we have all the tools available for us to offer to.
And just want people to use them.
Yeah, these renowned private schools, they can also approach us. We can provide them. They have their own facility. They conduct workshop for their teachers. But how can they assess that? Whether
but have they ever approached?
So they have to. I recommend that they should do the assessment through a third body, not through their own system.
Absolutely, and thank you for saying that. And it's really important that we've got Dr. Shahzada here, because a lot of people criticize that there's nothing in place. How do we do the quality? there's something in place.
Yeah.
They're offering you their service. The Aga Khan school system have used it. So all these other, private bodies and all these people making excuses, there is something to standardize the quality in this country. So let's start using the systems before we start criticizing
Yeah,
them.
people who are concerned, obviously they'll reach out to them,
Which
and
was
they're over
happening.
here, they're easily accessible. I mean, just log on to the internet and just type NTS and you'll find it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not difficult.
that difficult. So now let's move on to Hina, because she is a lecturer at the Government Common College. So tell us, what kind of systems are in place to ensure the quality of the teachers in your college?
Actually, the learning and along with the trainer, the both things are very important.
Yes.
If the learners, they are not capable and
We
well
know, no.
nourished.
What I'm asking,
Yeah.
that's not my question. What I'm asking you is that your college, how do
Yeah.
you ensure that quality is at that international level?
Yes.
Do we have somebody in your college who comes and says that, okay, teachers,
Here's
get
the
ready,
test,
you
here are
have
the
a test today?
requirements.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is because the section in charges are there. They are there are ranks like principal, and then the section in charge, then the teachers, and then the students.
Yeah.
Like the section in charge, they are responsible to check out what are the teachers doing, what are the work, what are the plannings for the whole month, and what are the syllabus, what are their
So,
books.
are
which
you aware if
yeah.
you guys are part of, have you used the NTS system before, the National
No.
Testing Service?
No.
Or, okay,
No.
you haven't used it. Okay.
So it's just on the inter level,
Okay.
and it's not on the NTS level. So first year, second year. So
Okay.
there's, it's not like that. Okay, we used to.
Yeah, because
have
it's
it,
an
yeah.
option, of course, as
Let's
yeah,
ask
Saz
Ms. Navida,
pointed out.
what about city school?
Yeah, I would like to mention that we continuously endeavor to professionally develop our teachers. So since years, since the inception of the city school, regularly there are courses held during the summer breaks, winter breaks, even if there are any spring breaks, we do avail them. Very recently, a test for English aptitude test was conducted that is known internationally by the name of APTIS, and alhamdulillah the scoring of our teachers had been
Excellent. Okay.
very good.
Excellent. But now let me move on to Miss Malaka. Are you guys involved at all with using the systems, the training and the quality systems available by the government and
Because
the NTS?
that's what they're saying, that
Because that's what I'm
you're doing
asking.
it within.
Honestly,
Everyone's doing it within
Yeah.
themselves, but are you
I'll
using
be honest about this.
Because you talked
I-
about standardizing earlier.
honestly, I've heard about NTS like maybe one more time before
Okay.
from somebody
Okay,
who was
that's-
actually
okay.
going for
Because
it.
it's for undergraduate.
So-
Okay, so
you
now
know,
that's no, but I'd like to point, yes.
The thing I'd like to say is that the problem is that we take education as a second choice.
Yeah.
Coming into education to teaching
Yeah.
is actually a second choice for most of the people.
Yeah.
It's not a first career choice. So I think NTS is actually, it's a great step.
Yeah.
It's a great step because
Since
we
2002.
need such kind of bodies.
Absolutely. Now I'm sitting here, and this is a discussion, and it's to find out what's happening. Now, Dr. Shahzad, like sitting here, you know it's there. People are using the system. Now you have established schools out there who aren't even aware of this service that is being provided.
available.
What is that saying about the status of the education system here? Because that's not a good sign. Is it?
Or is it because that you haven't been able to market the service?
Yeah, are we not raising the awareness?
That may be one of the reason, I admit that. But presently NTS is known in most of the people who are dealing with education.
Okay.
We are offering a product of ETS USA at 1/10 of the cost here in Pakistan, that is called TOEIC, TOEFL, TOEFL Junior, TOEFL Senior level, and you get the certification from USA.
Okay.
And you have the score, you assess your own teachers, your own students also. This is not only for the English teachers, but for the students also. So all these schools and colleges which are running in private sector or in public sectors, we are offering them. There are a lot of school and colleges which are, we are also offering scholarship to the higher achiever in these tests also.
Okay,
That is the facility, they can avail it. And the most important thing in the elementary education, I think we are the people, we can design the test to the specification of the client.
Yeah.
And not only to the client, I think the parent should also be involved.
Absolutely.
We are going to launch another project in near future that the students should be assessed for their aptitude at a class 8 level, at metric level and FSC level that which profession they are going to choose. Mostly in our country, our parents want their teacher to be engineers, doctors, but they don't know what is the real aptitude of that kid, where he or she can excel in the future life. So those tests, I think, will be very beneficial for these schools to get it through NTS. And the other thing, I feel it's very important, these private schools with the name of Frobel, City School, the Beacon House, they are doing excellent job as far as, because only it was not possible for the government to impart to the this quality of education to such large number of population of the country. But one thing I personally think they lack is the emphasis on the personality grooming of the kid.
Absolutely.
I have been all over the world with my family, with my kids. My friends are living out, my children are living out.
Lucky kids.
And we are emphasizing more on the teaching of mathematics, English, or different subjects at a very low level. Even in the kindergarten, in the play group, they are given these assignments for learning, where they should be given proper training. They should know about the civic sense, they should know about the ethics. And in the developed country, these kids are not given a book or given any training regarding mathematics or even learning alphabet till they are in class 1.
I think you need to
So
answer
they
that.
should
Yeah.
they should do this thing.
Okay.
That is, I demand from these schools that people are giving lot of money to these schools for it's not only that they should be taught very good in those subjects, but their personality development should also be
Exactly.
done. That is very
Very well
important,
put.
which
Yes,
is
ma'am.
lacking, I think.
I just wanted to mention here that parents, they usually come to us, and what they expect is they want to see a notebook which is full of work from the child, right? And usually when they don't get that from us, they're like, my child hasn't done anything in the whole year, so you're just giving me like maybe 30 pages or 20 pages of writing. So what does the child actually know? Here I'd like to mention that, even it's not about younger kids or the elder kids, right? It's about kids in general. So even from the very beginning, we are actually literally focusing not on just reading and writing, because that just makes you literate. What makes you what makes you educated is when you provide them with the rationale, and they are able to make well-balanced decisions, where they are able to resolve conflicts responsibly, where you understand that every child has their own creative talent and critical thinking, right? So these are the skills we are actually
I'm sorry
working
to
on
barge in,
at a
but I have
very
a
low level.
disagreement over here. I'm sorry to barge in, that's why I said that.
Yeah, but you should have finished
now the
before you
only
barged in.
problem is that, you do say. Now, for example, when I remember going to a university, which is a very highly esteemed university over here in Islamabad as well. Now, what happens is that, when we go to the university, that was the very first time that we had a class for self-development. For example, if all of those kids who are going to school, I've never ever seen them attending a class of self-development where they tell you how to sit, how to talk, which socks to wear, what not to wear, what to do,
what I'd
and
like
the
to tell
rationale
you,
which you are referring to. What is that?
What I'd like to mention here is that, I'm also a product of one of the private schools, right? And,
I think all of us are.
yeah,
Shahzada
I'm
sahab,
pretty
are
sure.
you?
No,
No, you haven't. Yeah, I knew it.
But what I would like to
I'm
mention
proud
is
to be from a government school.
that
I started
even
from
the private
class 1
schools-
and
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah, great.
even the private schools have, developed so much. Like, I remember, you're absolutely right, when I used to go to school, right? There wasn't any such thing. It was like, okay, we're sitting and we're doing our work.
English, maths, physics,
Exactly.
science, that's it.
But now, because times have changed, now we're actually in alignment with the international standards of education. So now we've actually come to understand what is expected of us and in the grooming of a child. So things have changed.
Okay, so Miss
I would
Nabila.
like to just add here that we really need a shift in paradigm socially as well. We need to train our parents as well. We need to educate our parents as well. though we do agree with all these organizations that are conducting these tests and all, but you see that our parent is also trained for the same. So they come up as two different tracks actually.
Absolutely.
When we talk of the ultimate product, that should be strong, which should be having a strong value base, and we want them to be great critical thinkers, and we want them that they should be having a strong allegiance with their institutions.
Exactly.
So once when we are working only and only on academics, I think it won't be possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we really need to take this trio into confidence that on one side we have the parents, on the other corner we have the teachers, and on one side we have the students. So we all need to work together and focus on the specific areas where we want to see our students to be.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
only rote learning and all,
Yep.
so it has to be
Okay,
skill-based.
so Hina, to tell us about you. What is your input? Because you're teaching the higher level kids.
Being a teacher, I always prefer that literacy, numeracy, that is not the basic factors.
Yeah.
Skills for life is basically that is academically strong. The children should be academically strong. That they should be good in literacy. They should be good
So
in numeracy.
how are you practicing this? This is my question. So how are you making
Yeah.
sure that you're getting this to
Like
your students?
a teacher should be like child-centered teaching approach. She should have the child.
What do you do? Stop talking about the teacher. I want to know what you do.
Yes.
So how do you, you
for
teach your
me,
kids?
for me, I emphasize for every student. Like if I have 42 students in my class, I emphasize every student, each child. Yes, each child should have their own like thinking mindsets.
Okay.
And I think that they should have their own. What are they thinking?
Okay.
So you do
the thing
promote
is-
that
yes.
you know there's freedom of speech in your class.
Individuality.
Everybody can
Yeah,
share their
independent
ideas
and
and whatnot.
well managed, well disciplined, and well settled class that are very important. Like
Exactly.
if
Now
you want
there's
to, yeah.
one more thing which we need to discuss. In fact, I need to tell everybody who's out there, and that is that you know summer vacations are coming up, and the schools they ask for 3 months fee in advance, and there's this paper cutting. Obviously, I did it from a newspaper. So this is how it goes, and you know you can obviously translate it in English as
Okay,
well.
sure.
इतलाए आम बराए प्राइवेट स्कूल इंतजामिया मालिकैन वालदैन और अवाम अन्नास. You know, for all those people, you
All
know,
the mothers, fathers.
and then you know the private school administration as well.
Okay.
अदालत आलिया लाहौर के अहकामात और महकमा स्कूल एजुकेशन के जारी करदा नोटिफिकेशन नंबर, I can obviously post this on our Facebook fan page as well, के तहत प्राइवेट स्कूल मालकान और इंतजामिया को हदायत की जाती है कि वो मौसम गर्मा की छुट्टियों में तलबा से माहाना की बुनियाद पर फीस वसूल करें. So all of those private schools which are out there, they are only allowed to get the fee challan, or probably you know if the parents have got the fee challan, it should be monthly. It cannot be all together for 3 months.
What?
Okay.
I don't
For
understand
example, what
that means.
happens is that you know if it's a 3-month summer vacation,
Yeah.
the schools what they do is they'll give you a fee challan, and you have to submit the 3
What's
month
a fee
fees
challan?
in advance.
Fee bill.
Yeah, fee bill.
Fancy voucher.
All right, so you have to pay it in advance. Now, so there's this court order which says that you know no private school can do that. It has to be monthly, no matter what happens. And if some of the schools are not abiding by that, the helpline number is 0800-02345, which is the Director Monitoring School Education Department. 0800-02345 or 042-99-211-518. 042-99-211-518.
And we will be sharing all this information out there because you guys
Yeah.
should know, because at the end of the day, it's your
So
person.
let's ask them. Yeah, so what did you guys do?
What are you guys doing?
For summers, we are issuing the challans that are broken into months.
Okay,
So we
wonderful.
are not taking
So,
them
so, you,
collectively.
so,
Yeah.
so you're sorted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
great.
think that's amazing too as well. But other than that, there are few schools which I've notified, and you know, if you know by chance you guys are watching, I've seen that there's schools who have actually given a fee challan for 2 months altogether, and then there's a 1 month thing as well. And they've been
How do
very
that?
tricky, and they've been very tricky about it because if the month ended last month and you were supposed to submit the fee, they gave you the challan almost like a day or 2 days earlier.
Okay, now the thing is, you know, you guys need to look after yourselves and you need to use these helplines because they're there to help you. So, you know, don't complain afterwards that, you know, the schools did this because we didn't know. We're trying to make you aware. So
Exactly.
there are no excuses. Now, because we are running short of time, you know, just going forward, sir, how would you like to see the NTS role in regards to the public service, into the public education?
We have a lot of role to play. We are already doing, and we can further extend it to all the government and private schools. The Punjab government, I have already told you that they are doing not only the induction through NTS in all of the teacher through NTS, but they are doing the assessment of their teachers and assessment of their school also through NTS, which we recommend them the things they can see themselves the results, and they can do a lot of improvement accordingly. Similar thing can be offered to the as far as the standard of the schools is concerned. The private schools are much better as compared to the government school, but the assessment of their teacher is very much required. I agree with the madam that they do lot of workshop and training in summer training of their own teachers, but they should get the assessment from a third party like NTS, because that will give him a very fair, impartial idea, because we design and develop our test on the international evaluation patterns which ensure the quality, fairness and merit.
Okay, now just one last question. Just when you said that, this, the quality training that you provide for the teachers, it's free of cost, or do they have to?
They have to pay for the cost of the test, whatever is spent on the test and evaluation, because for the development of the questions, we can develop the question customized to their own requirement, that what subject, what teachers are teaching,
or the only ones
at what
they know.
level, whether it's a primary level or secondary level or a university or college level teaching. So accordingly, those questions are developed as per their requirement.
Okay, so talking about NTS, there are two more things which I wanted to ask. First of all, how much does it cost for an individual to appear in NTS?
Yes.
Depending on which test he's appearing in, and for how long is it valid?
Our standard test for the GAT and NAT test, they are valid for 2 years. And the test fee is 1,000 to 1,500 depending on whether you are appearing in the NAT or GAT test. And the customized test, they vary from 500 to 1,000 depending on whether it's a MCQ test or there are subjective tests. We also do the psychometric analysis also in certain recruitment also to determine the personality of a person also. That can also be done for selected portion of the their teachers, maybe at higher level or at junior level, whether they are suitable for that particular job or not. It's not only the educational certification or qualification a person got. It's the personality of the person also to be assessed whether it is suitable for that job or not.
Okay, wonderful. And okay, sorry, final question before we ask the rest. Sorry. Okay, so we already have a lot of pressure for the students to do lots of exams. Like you said, the private schools and the other schools, they have their own examination systems in all different places. They follow different, schooling systems from all around the world. Being part of the NTS, isn't that adding just extra pressure on them or not? What do you think about that?
No,
That'll be my final question.
At the going for a university admission, these tests are not only in Pakistan, they are all over the world. You go to you want to do any admission in United States or any developed country, they have their own testing system or bodies. You have to go through those tests. Their universities' ratings are different. For example, you want a admission in Harvard or MIT or certain other good university, you have to score a very high in your GRE test. So only then you can go in that university. So that's why it is in our country also the government should do standardization, and the standardized test will benefit the students and the universities also, that they will get quality of
and everybody is going to be at par, I think. I think that's a beautiful service, amazing service,
and
which
the
is over here in
cost of
Pakistan.
these tests can be reduced if the number of candidates are increased.
Economies of scale. Yeah, that's where it is.
Excellent.
But one last thing, and ma'am, it's for you as well, for all of you. For example, for all those parents who are planning to send their kids to school, what do you think they need to look for in a school?
Very quickly, we'll start with you, Miss Malika, and then we'll move down.
Well, I think, when children come to us, the first thing that they should look is the overall environment. I think how readily the teachers and, they are ready to take in the children. I think that's one of the most important factors.
Okay, great. Ms. Navida.
I think that we need to look for the curriculum as well, because whenever the parents enter a school, it's the curriculum or the message coming through the curriculum that is depicted in the environment as well.
Okay.
So the environment also works as a third teacher for our students. So we mainly focus and we revolve around our curriculum. So once the parents start setting in, meeting in, we start conveying them all details.
What about you?
Same, agreeing with them, the environment and along with the communication, how you treat the students along with the parents, how you will treat the parents, that you have to tell that what are the basic rules and
So the
regulations.
communication should be there.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you
Excellent.
very
Thank you
much.
so much for being here, Shaz. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show and have
Pleasure.
this
Thank you.
discussion. It's
Thank
been
you so
really good.
much.
Thank you so much. So now, guys, we're going to do
Interesting
our
facts.
interesting fact quickly. And today we've picked up a giraffe.
I don't know what
So
we call a
let's-
giraffe in Urdu though. I think it's just a giraffe as well.
Shows your
I
education.
think that's what it
Shows
is.
your primary education, huh?
All right, so giraffes eat most of the time, consuming around 75 pounds of foliage on a daily basis.
Yep, and they use their 6 to 8 feet long neck and 18 to 20-inch long tongue to pull the leaves from the trees.
Exactly, giraffes only need to drink once every few days. Most of their water comes from all the plants they eat.
And as we mentioned, a giraffe's neck can grow up to 7 feet tall, and they have 7 bones like human necks. Giraffes also have 4 stomachs.
Yeah, giraffes have small horns on top of their heads. They're used to protect their head in fights.
And if you can't figure out how tall a giraffe is, the comparison is that giraffes are as tall as a 2-story house.
Depends on how tall the building is.
Yeah,
But
that's true too.
a giraffe can clean its ears with its 21-inch tongue.
Okay, and they often only sleep for about 20 minutes in any 24 hours, and they may sleep up to 2 hours in spurts, but not all at once. So they're very active, and they're so cute and beautiful. But with that, if you want any information on what we've discussed today, do log on to our Facebook fan page,
Which is with the name of World This Morning.
Our Twitter page.
World This Morning without a G.
our Daily Motion and YouTube page,
World This Morning, World This Morning.
and the repeat is at
11 p.m.
Have a wonderful day, have a great weekend, be safe, and look after yourself in the heat, and we'll see you bright and early on Monday morning.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank